Kenosha! Kenosha! Cops in a racist system. No more cops for park evictions. The forum today, in my opinion and my experience, the police department started out as runaway slave catchers, and due to that being their roots, the institution is inherently racist. So it doesn't matter which cop shot Jacob Blake, it came from a racist institution. So that's what happened on Sunday. Then the next day, civil unrest took place in Kenosha. Some of the buildings were burned, things were torn down. It happened. Then the next day, a young white man, Kyle Rittenhouse, took to the streets of Kenosha, shot 5 people, killed 2 with an AR-15, illegally crossed state lines, illegally was carrying an AR-15 across state lines, shot and killed 2 people, hit 5. Then Wednesday, as I was going to the Lionel Lewis March, for those of you who don't know about Lionel Lewis was dating a white woman in 2002. They got into an argument. The cops were called. They hogtied him. They threw him into a very deadly situation. He then died. And his daughter just turned 20 years old. And we were marching to reopen the case of Lionel Lewis. For those of you that are not, and this was in Hibbing, Minnesota. So as a black person, going into these small cities, especially Minnesota, is dangerous. It's not safe. It's not safe at all. So Lionel Lewis, being in that situation, already knew he was taking a risk. And dating a white woman in Hibbing, he was taking another risk. As we know, that interracial pairing has historically wound up with black men lynched, killed, put into situations that are very deadly. And we were marching for Lionel Lewis that day, and I wasn't able to make it to the march because we were called to Nicollet and 8th, where a black man who had just killed somebody shot himself. The crowd then presumed that the cops had killed him. The video came out that he had in fact killed himself. However, the civil unrest turned outwards. I then made a video that said, be careful of the way that white media outlets are going to spin this. They're going to say that people are looting because they want things for free. They're going to say they're burning things down because they want to take it out in the city. Lo and behold, they forgot about Jacob Blake. They forgot about Kyle Rittenhouse, and seemingly they forgot about George Floyd. As I announced to everybody on Nicollet and 8th, I said, Nakeema's coming with the footage. And they said, all right, cool. And then it wasn't enough. It wasn't about the footage. It was about the police department. It wasn't about the footage. It was about the police department. And I think we all have to ask ourselves this question. If the Minneapolis Police Department wasn't there, would there have been an outbreak? Would there have been an outburst? I don't know.
You're around people like a lot of you white folks here who claim to be liberal, and I am glad that you're here today, but if you're not donating your money and giving your money to black people, not black organizations, black people, and black trans women first, then you're not doing enough. You need to be giving a lot of your money. If you live in comfortability, you need to be giving a lot of it. You also need, because you have money, you need to go to people in power and you need to demand change. If you truly believe in change, then you're here today.
Hungry kids are blessed over there in the 50s, not hurt by any of this bullshit. Every day I wake up wondering who's not eating, what kid is hurt, where are blankets and sheets at, who doesn't have diapers and wipes, why don't they have hot food, why don't they have water? It's frustrating to me, and I'm doing it out of a damn Honda Civic. And some of y'all got big trucks, got access to all types of things. Please help me help those. Please.
Switches the narrative time and time again. Fox 9 News switches the narrative time and time again. KSTP switches the narrative time and time again, and Carol Levin just doesn't give a damn. When was the last time you saw an inner city news reported on Carol Levin? I'll wait.
Never.
They don't talk about it because they don't care. When we go out here and we got boots on the ground, the narrative is we're looting, we're rioting, we're lawlessness, we're troublemakers, and we're vandals. No, we're seeking justice. justice. We are out here seeking the truth, and we as a community are working for families. We are out here standing for families who can't speak because they're too busy crying over lost ones.
Everyone needs to come out. So anyone that knows any Asian Americans or Asians, I'm Chinese, I'm all the way from China, and I'm out here for this. If I got arrested, I'm going home. Because there's no middle lane for this. Either you are for Black lives, or you ain't shit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So see an Asian person, come talk to them, ask them.
I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a father, and I'm a grandfather. I have 7 grandchildren. I've earned my right to speak. When the first riots came, I understand that. I even argued for it. People came at me and said, well, what about this? What about that? And I said, you know what? I'm not starting any fires, but I'm also not putting any of them out. I understand that. There was a time for that. As time has progressed, Black Lives Matter's public support has really risen. There's a bigger war out there that we're trying to do than these battles. Bob Crow, we have a chance at getting rid of him. We can get rid of him by defunding the police. We defund the police, they lose the police unions. They lose the police unions. Bob Crow's whole entire goon squad of bad cops is gone. Right. I hear it. I hear Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, Native Lives Matter. If we're here, then that would mean that all the community matters. And that means that we are fighting for the community. We're not attacking civilians. And to me, small mom and pop shops stealing all their stuff is the same thing as attacking civilians. If you want to break something, if you want to get your anger out, there's a front line going on when those things are going on. Come on up to the front line. Get all the anger out you want.
Make My Life Matter doesn't do anything because it doesn't affect them. I can go to school and I can get threatened. Well, I have gone to school. My life has gotten threatened. And every single day when we go to administration, they say, we're taking care of it. We're handling it. But if they're really handling it, why do we have Black men and women being gunned down in the streets? If we have, I go to the school district where Derek Chauvin was essentially raised from. And from last fall, I was threatened and they called my phone saying that they were going to kill me because I'm Black. These are kids that are doing this. And when I turn on the TV and I see adults that are acting like children, it's really disheartening because I don't want to grow up in a world where my older brother can walk out on the street and die. So,
she was trying to wrestle one of the little girls. You could see the girl saying, stop trying to fight me. So our children, we got little Black girls having to tell police officers to stop trying to fight them. And you can see this on the video. So,
do you believe that the police incited some of this?
Yes, I believe that they pepper sprayed some people, and then they before anybody threw anything, the police threw some things at the crowd first, and it's on tape. So we're not saying that any looting should have happened, but if you want respect, you got to give respect. Also,
this group, they're being very, they're coming down on the violence and they're blaming it on this group. Anyone that supports this group, we are the bad guy.
What is this group?
This group, I'm talking about everybody here, anyone that's supporting Black Lives Matter, anyone that's supporting the civil rights for women, heck, ageism. I'm 65, you know, so I have my issues too. But what I am saying, my concern, and I want to ask all of you is, what are we going to do to stop the violence part? Because there's a group that's in there that is riding on the coattails of this group, I believe. And they're doing so much destruction, and we're losing a lot of people. Trump, all he's talking about is law and order, law and order. I mean, it could become like a martial country. We can't give him any opening, I guess is what I'm saying. So is there a way that we can still be as active and everything else? For example, do any of you have any ideas? Like, I was thinking, for example, if there's a curfew, if we all stay inside, I know people wanted to do peaceful protesting when there was a curfew, saying we're doing peaceful protesting. That's true. But at the same time, it was not just peaceful protesting because there were other people in the group that were destroying property. And a lot of them was small business.
And do you believe that the destruction of property was giving Trump an opening to blaming us?
I don't think that initially everybody was buying into that. I think there was a long time when people understood the frustration. They could understand. Of course this is going to happen. I think that's why people wanted to solve problems without bringing in the police, and we're trying. But I think that now he is, he's dangerous. And I think that to ignore that, I'm afraid for this. We can really do something here.
If you follow the rules, can we further the cause? Again, I go back to, how did black people get the vote? We didn't follow the rules, right? So we had to break the rules to get our voices heard.
Now, had that been a black person that shot and killed a white man, what do y'all think would have happened? He would have been locked up. He would have been charged. He's thrown far into the water, and no, it's just not the same. And so when you say, how about you guys do this way and that way, we've been doing it this way and that way. We're not getting any further. When we start showing our ass, then that's when people want to take notice and take heed to what's going on, and then they want to half-ass act like they care. Right. And they still don't. Right.
That area, Alondra Cano, she showed up to Powderhorn, announced, hey, we're going to defund the police. She also used words of unicorns, rainbows, and intermediate steps, literally, in her speech.
Correct.
And she's demanded and chanted George Floyd from here to there. However, she has said nothing of Calvin Horton. My question to you is, when a city council member does, in my opinion, performative social justice, but then says nothing for Calvin Horton, what does that say to you?
That she don't care. Right. That she don't care. That's it. She don't have to say anything. Her actions show it.
You said that there are bomb makers and people overseas that are being treated better, that you were there to police or what have you, that are being treated better than citizens here. How do you see the citizens being treated here, and how did that make you feel?
It's not right. Like as a soldier, if I'm going to raise my weapon at somebody, that's the last time it happens. And there's a tactical patience. You have to understand what the fuck you're about to do. You're about to end somebody's life. That shit is not taken lightly. You have to take everything into account. Who's behind them, left, right, side, who's innocent, who's wrong, even though that can be hard to do. And here, that doesn't happen.
Do you see the police taking those same measures?
Fuck no. No, I'm sorry for saying that. Like, watching that video and having veteran friends, there's a lot of people that are very, if we want to say far right, they're very like, well, he was reaching for a gun, he's doing this, they're all, like, I bet you he's not a saint. Like, fucking, who cares if he's not a saint? He's a fucking person. You don't hold their shirt. As he looks like he's trying to fling, that's where tactical patience, that's where your fucking training sets in, and you step back and go, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going to give it that time. That time, because he's a person, he deserves that time. I'm not judge, jury, and executioner. I need to watch what he's going to do, and then I'm going to make that jump and what I have to do. He wasn't in danger. He's holding the guy from the back and then executed him. And that's the thing that's fucking making me mad, is you got to come home and you got to see this shit. I can't do that overseas. So like I said, somebody who's shooting at me, I better be able to see their eyes and the round coming at me before I do what I got to do. But here, no, shit, he looks scary, fuck him. Like, that's crazy.
They're more pushing us around and allowing these people not to live, not to settle, not to be housed. Because we are unhoused. I am unhoused. And to be continuously pushed around and having to move from one place to another and having to reset, restart, and then do everything all over again and be limited to a 48-hour or 72-hour eviction, when it comes down to it, ends up being a 24-hour eviction without notice. These people, meaning the authorities, the cops, grew up in a home and we're taught this. I don't want a home, because I don't want that to be taught to my kids and my family. What I want is a community to stand together, to support each other, to be there for each other, and to understand that we deserve better. Not only that we deserve better, as we were talking about the police and their actions, I've got to know a lot of these individuals that live in these tents. They have mental instabilities, they have problems, they have a background, they have trauma, they have addictions.